Hello, sweet friend. My name is Micah, and this video is a little bit of a chatty catch-up video. I have a couple things to talk to you about and a couple of things to show you actually, which should be fun. If you've been around for a while, you may know that I'm currently visiting family in Germany, and we've been here for about 3 weeks, and our trip unfortunately started with a little bit of a hiccup, if you can call it that. So Delta, our airline, lost our carry-on suitcases. Yes, that is possible for a airline to lose your carry-ons. And unfortunately, I had packed all of my journals in that carry-on suitcase. So my 5-year Hobonichi was in there, my 2 Hobonichi weeks for this year, my A6 Hobonichi avec that I'd already started prepping and setting up, if you've seen the video, was in that suitcase. As well as all of my ephemera bits that I had brought, like Christmas stickers, Christmas paper, printouts, those kinds of things. All of that in my beautiful Epson Studio journaling tote. All of that has been lost for a little over 3 weeks now. So Delta is still looking for the bags, but at this point, I'm not quite sure how hopeful I should be, or whether or not it would be safer to assume that they're just lost in the ether. It is quite surprising. I mean, they don't stop existing, so they're gotta be somewhere on this earth, but nobody knows where. And I would never pack all of these personal items, all these precious items, in a checked bag, which is why they were in my carry-on suitcase, because usually you have a pretty good knowledge and a pretty good hand on your carry-on luggage, but there was just something about the way that our specific flight was really, really full. They unfortunately didn't do gate-checked carry-ons, which they sometimes do if they start noticing that the plane is really full. And so we actually entered the plane with our carry-on suitcases, got to our seats, and all of the the compartments were super, super full. And so my husband and I, as well as a bunch of other passengers, had to go into the back of the plane, and the flight attendants then took care of the bags, which meant that unfortunately all of our carry-on bags did not get a tag of any kind. They did not get a bag number, which makes it really, really hard to look for them in the system. And so, most of those are replaced. I mean, of course, I could easily replace them. Most of them were more or less empty because, again, they were for 2024. I had started moving into some of the Hobonichi weeks already. I had set up my Hobonichi A6. If you've seen that video, started decorating some of the pages. I had drawn out my turning the page to the new year with the little comic, or not comic, but like some little illustrations of some of my goals and aspirations for this year. So that's obviously sad that that's gone, but the most heartbreaking thing is that it had my 5-year journal in there, and that I have been keeping since the beginning of 2023. So this year would actually be my 2nd year in there, and so that would have meant that I finally get to read what I did the year prior in it, which is, I think, one of the main benefits of the 5-year journal is the fun like comparison of the days. And of course, that was, at least for the first half of 2023, that was actually the only daily journal I kept, because I only started with my A6 avec in July, which, by the way, I had first thought I was going to take with me to finish off December in that journal, and then decided, you know what, I'm just gonna not deal with that and take that extra weight with me. So that stayed at home, because otherwise I would have lost that too. So yeah, that is of course a little bit of a rough start to the trip, but of course we're so happy to share some time with family and with friends. And yeah, it's just unfortunate that you have to then, do all the paperwork and you have to call them regularly to check in. We had to spend the first day or day and a half just buying ourselves the essentials, because that carry-on luggage was actually the only luggage we had taken, which we were pretty proud of, to pack for 5 weeks in a carry-on suitcase. But yeah, we spent quite some time shopping and just getting clothes and just personal care items and stuff like that. So, in terms of journaling, the last 3 weeks, I was just happened to have also taken my traveler's notebook with me, which I had in a backpack that actually stayed on me. And I had put in an empty insert in there just in case, which, yeah, has been serving as my journal. I'm going to do a flip through here in just a moment and show you. So I had this to journal in, and then I had also put in, just because of space issues, I also had my little pouch here in my backpack, which had in it all of my Tombow markers, as well as a little watercolor palette and a glue stick. And then I also had my fountain pens in my backpack. So that's been my super minimal journaling setup. It's just been fountain pens, watercolor, Tombow markers. And then I think I had some washi samples in my traveler's notebook. So yeah, that's just been super minimal, but that is, all you need really for journaling is a pen and some paper, right? So, I'm making it work, I suppose. It's just thinking about all these. I actually had printed all of the Christmas ephemera and had been so looking forward to using that. But oh well. And then I had the pleasure of going to this really fun store here in Germany with my sister. It's called Sustrana Green. I think they're only available here in Europe. I think I've checked before whether or not they ship or sell in the US. And they have all kinds of different things. They also have like furniture and decor items, but they do have some paper goods and stationery. And so this is a origami book, and the patterns are so cute. And they're just the perfect size for ripping up and putting in your journal. And because it's meant to be for origami, the paper isn't too thick. And so I've been able to add this to my journaling as well, which is kind of fun, and it switches it up. So that's kind of cool. And I guess I could have ordered some washi tape and stickers too, to make up for the fact that everything was in my suitcase, but I don't know. I guess I just decided to just embrace the minimalism, and I also wasn't quite sure. So Delta, of course, paid us back for all the essentials that we had to buy right now. And I don't know if they, agree with us that stationery is essential and washi tape is essential. And so, yeah, I held off on that. And because I guess I still kind of hope that we get our stuff back. And then another cool thing that I was able to pick up while I was out shopping, one of the benefits also to being in Germany is that I can actually go into a store and look at Leuchtturm notebooks. And so I picked up this B6 Plus, they call it. So I think they have heightened, like they put a little bit more height on this to make it, I guess, a little bit more looking like a book rather than the sort of almost squarish B6 format. And I think it's really cute. And I'm going to show you, I did like a test page, and I'm pretty surprised how well it holds watercolor, and the black ink that I'm using looks really, really good on this page and this paper. The only thing that feathered a little bit and was a little bit of a disappointment was this De Atramentis Havana ink in my Pilot Kakuno Extra Fine. So I don't know if the black ink just holds up because it's a waterproof ink from Octopus Fluids, or if all other inks kind of bleed, or if that's particularly the De Atramentis ink that is bleeding. But yeah, that's kind of like a fun find, I suppose. And then another fun thing I picked up are some watercolor pans from Schminke. You can buy Schminke watercolors in the States, but it's really hard to find stores that carry the pans, which are just a fun way to try out new colors because they're cheaper than the tubes because it's less paint. I figured it'd be fun to just flip through this insert and what I've done so far or have been able to do with my minimal setup. So I focused a lot on drawing and just watercolors and keeping it simple. So this is me and my husband being really perplexed about leaving the airport without our luggage. This is sort of like an illustrated shopping list of the essentials that we had to buy. And then this is when we got to my sister's place. She had decorated so beautifully with flowers, with amaryllis. I don't know if that's how you say them in English, but yeah, just really, really gorgeous. And then you'll see I've indicated places where I want to put photos and which photos, so I don't get too overwhelmed once I am able to actually print photos and add them. So I thought that was kind of a good way of keeping track of my photos without being able to currently print them. And I've noticed that if I don't do any journaling while traveling, I tend to not go back. So I definitely wanted to have something on these pages, even if I can't put pictures in. So here, for example, my husband and I went to a Christmas market and we bought delicious food. These are candied almonds, I guess is what they're called. And then my sister and I baked some Christmas cookies. And so I just wrote out the recipe. I thought that would be fun to look back on. And also, if I ever want to make them again, I can just recreate the experience. This page is still in progress. These are some of the toys that my niece is currently playing with, and I thought that was kind of fun, a fun way to remember what she's playing with right now. Really, really cute. I still have to decide what I can fit down there, or whether I just want to do some writing. Here I left some space for Christmas, like actual Christmas pictures. So that's there. And then my husband and I went to a really fun exhibit about the Sesame Street in Germany. So Germany makes their own production of Sesame Street. And that was really, really fun to see. My husband really loves everything that has to do with puppets and with Jim Henson in particular. And for him, that was really special too, to see like sort of the German parts of it too. So I'm going to add some more pictures in there. But this was a coloring sheet that they had for the kids there at the exhibit. So I was like, yep, that is going to be going in my journal. And then, yeah, my sister and I went to a cat cafe. So I'll still have some photos to put in from that day, which was really fun. And we did some shopping, which was really nice. And then this was for New Year's. I just wrote out my word of the year, which I've decided is going to be resolute. I want to be more resolute. And then I wrote out the definition and just sort of journaled a little bit about where that word comes from and how I think I want that to manifest in my life. And then I think, yeah, I started another spread where I want to just collect some candy wrappers and food wrappers of things that I think of as very German or very homey. So yeah, that's kind of cute. And look at that cute face of this bakery guy. Isn't he so cute? I don't know. That makes me very happy to see. So yeah, I mean, it's very minimal, but I think it works, and I think it feels like it's capturing my trip. So I'm very, very glad that I have this in my traveler's notebook. And yeah. Okay, and maybe we can just swatch these cute little watercolor pens. I always think they look like candy in their little wrappers. I picked out this green earth, which seems to be a really soft green, which I love just as a color. And I always think those lighter colors are really good for journaling or for coloring line art because it doesn't overpower either your writing or your line art. And so I thought that would be really, really fun. Ooh, that is pretty. Yes, that is gorgeous. And yeah, I think overall what I'm taking out of this experience with the luggage is that, one, just don't, whatever you do, pack your journals and your fountain pens, everything that's sort of dear to you, pack that so that you always have that on hand, like that you never have to give that bag or that suitcase to anyone else where you don't know where it is. And then I think the other thing is my husband actually found that out on Reddit. People who have gone through a similar experience that we have. Oh, by the way, this is transparent green gold. They have started putting Apple AirTags, into all of their backpacks and suitcases so that you at least know somewhat know where your bags are. And I think we're gonna start doing that too. Yeah. This is burnt umber, if I can get that out, which is also like a great mixing color. And for me, of course, browns are always a way to do cats, cat fur, which is really nice. Oh, that's a lovely brown, isn't it? And then I also got raw umber because it looked so pretty. And I thought all of these colors actually look really good together. Oh, can I get it open? But yeah, have you ever lost a journal somewhere, somehow? Let me know your experience and let me know what you did afterwards. Like something that I'm still kind of not sure about is, so let's say Delta informs us that the suitcases are in fact officially lost, and they reimburse us for everything that was in these suitcases. Of course, I could replace most of my Hobonichi lineup, but I actually feel a little sore, if that makes sense. I feel a little, I don't know if I want to or not, even though, of course, I picked out the things because I wanted them and because I love them, but it feels, I don't know, it doesn't feel quite right to just simply replace them, and so I am considering doing something else instead and redoing my entire 2024 lineup, more or less, and reconsider what I had picked out. But yeah, I'm not quite sure. What do you think? What would you do? Or have you had to do something similar before? Yeah, help me out if you can. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on that. But yeah, look how pretty. Now I can write over this. Yeah, those are very, very lovely colors. And then at that art supply store, they actually handed out free calendars, which I'm very happy about because right now I don't have any planners. So yeah, yay. I can at least keep track of some of my things, my to-dos and appointments, and I have been keeping on a separate pieces of paper. I've been keeping track of my days just in case I do get my 5-year Hobonichi back, so I can refer back to that. But yeah, thanks so much for sharing this time with me. I hope you enjoyed a little bit of a chit chat and a look into what I've been up to with this minimal setup and the fun things I've been able to pick up while here in Germany. So yeah, thanks so much for sharing this time with me. Until next time, happy journaling!